the top of the charts is, and I said it, the final possession of the game. I said it, the final possession for the Niners in overtime. You got to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
You're flirting with God over there, okay? And I said it on 3rd and 4. I go, B, it is 4-down territory. You're like, no, because then only a field goal beats you. They're going to beat you.
Yeah, no, I didn't know the over. I was confused.
You need a touchdown.
I was so rattled. I was confused about the overtime rule. So in hindsight,
to score a touchdown. Whether you were on the 10-yard line going 90 or whether you were on the 5-yard line trying to punch it in. You needed a touchdown.
We took the ball and settled for a field goal.
The second you took it, it's like, okay, well, even if you took it first, you got to get a touchdown.
Got to get a touchdown.
Because it's Mahomes. And you're giving him 4 downs. So you had to get a touchdown.
They were going right down the field on that opening drive, and McCaffrey fumbles. That should have been a sign. Our boy McCaffrey.
Hey, George.
Our boy McCaffrey, who had an all-time season, not just for the 49ers, in NFL history.
I mean, he had a stutter step play on a loop pass from Purdy in that was overtime or whatever. That was one of the more iconic plays. We don't even think about it.
No, we don't.
By the way, also, they made a tackle at the goal line. I don't know, it was Kelsey, I believe, should have scored. I mean, Kelsey.
That was Tig Brown. Tig Brown on the sideline. Kelsey was going to score. Tig Brown saved the day.
Oren Burks is going to be in my head with Gibson. Pre-snap going like, who am I guarding? Dog, guard Kelsey.
This is why.
All of you, guard Kelsey.
No, this is why.
Kelsey.
This is why.
Kelsey.
No, this is why.
It's him.
It wasn't guard Kelsey.
Guard him.
No, it wasn't guard Kelsey. It wasn't that Shasky. It was like, line up, Brian. Line up in your spot. There were so many plays. I'm like, Shasky. Oren Burks was on the left side. Fred Warner's like, get your ass over here and line up. He couldn't even line up right.
It was so bad.
It was the whole Super Bowl.
It's just so bad.
Gives me a headache to even. Full disclosure.
I've watched it probably 4 times.
No. I watched it once, and I haven't gone back to it. I haven't gone back to it. I was thinking about it the other day. I said, maybe I need to get myself mentally prepared to watch the Super Bowl back. Because I remember in the real time.
It hurts.
Everything about it. It was just a disaster class on how to coach it. And Shanahan,
and they got turnovers. They got turnovers.
But you know what? They got the Pacheco fumble inside the goal line. Now
After Gibson should have intercepted a long pass.
Oh, my God.
It was like Gibson didn't even know where he was.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, I remember it was right in front of him.
And Pacheco fumbled like the next play.
The next play he fumbled. And he was going to score. It looked like he was going to score and get inside the 5-yard line.
He was running hard.
I'm sure he was running hard, but they were shutting him down. The whole Super Bowl is a damn disaster class, and that's why...
You got the Chase Young game.
And that's why... you did get the Chase Young game. But that's why, when I think about Shanahan... and the way it went down with Steve Wilks, I get it. Steve Wilks is not the defensive coordinator for this team. He told us, hey, I'm still learning the defense midway through the year. And I'm like, well, we're screwed. He's still learning the scheme. He doesn't know the scheme. Now we're saying, hey, get down from the press block, coach on the sideline. Well, it really doesn't matter because he doesn't really know the scheme. But when Shanahan threw his headset and called their timeout in overtime and showed Steve Wilks up on that final possession, I kind of looked at Shanahan differently for a second.
Why?
Because I said, who the hell are you when your offense has 19 or 22 points at the time? Who are you when your offense is settling for 50-plus yard field goals and you can't get a first down on 3rd and 5? Who are you to let the clock go by and expire when you knew damn well you weren't going to touch the ball for over an hour in real time after Usher was doing his concert or whatnot? Who are you to show up the defensive coordinator when the defense is saving your ass in the Super Bowl? That whole thing makes me sick to my stomach, man. And that's why it's Super Bowl or bust. The only way you can wash this taste out of our mouths, out of your mouth, out of my mouth, is by winning the damn Super Bowl. That's the only way we can get over this damn thing. Because it was a master class.
That's another 3. Why not? Why not? Absolutely sick for Klay Thompson.
Now my blood pressure's it's skyrocketing right now. You know, they got the stress app. The New York Giants GM had his stress app, and he's like, look at my stress app. I need to download that thing. Because whenever I talk about the Super Bowl, I feel like my blood pressure goes up because I think about 101 ways to lose a Super Bowl. Let me show you why. Let me pop in the tape on the 49ers versus the Chiefs. Super Bowl 54 and last year. Anyway, let's give away a Klay. Let's qualify somebody for a Klay Thompson jersey. Spadoni, 415-523-4652. Caller number 5, you will qualify for a Klay Thompson jersey, an autograph Klay Thompson Golden State Warriors jersey. Klay Thompson came up in the clutch. I know not in the playoff game last year, playing game, but we've got some great Klay Thompson moments in some big, big spots. What's the moment for Shanahan in these big spots. Kyle Shanahan.
I want to go back to the beginning, like right at the end of half when they got the ball back and Shanahan did the weirdest clock transition thing and didn't force them to burn a timeout. Then he wasted a time. The whole thing, it made zero sense.
Sure.
I was screaming. I'm like, they're going to get the ball to start the half. You're not going to touch it for a real hour in real time. I was screaming. And I don't know. No one has dissected. Whatever they did on that fight, it was the worst. You believe in your quarterback?
No.
Do you believe in your quarterback?
You know why that pissed me off, Shasky?
It made me. I was infuriated.
No, listen. I walked away from you. You guys didn't realize how long I walked away from you guys at halftime.
I was furious.
I took a walk. I took a walk on the concourse before Usher got on the stage. Because I said
they had him on the ropes.
I said Shasky is
sitting here. Off the hook.
I'm saying to myself, Shasky's sitting here telling him to call a timeout because I told Lubman, I said they're not going to touch the ball for about an hour and a half in real time. We did the math. It was like an hour and 11 minutes that they weren't going to touch the football. But there was only 31 seconds? Look up the game on 31 seconds. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Super Bowl 54, everybody told me it was the right decision to not call a timeout and just go into halftime 10-10 against Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, you see what I've been saying for 5 years with Shanahan and these timeouts and being aggressive and when to take your foot off the gas pedal and when not to do it? And he does it time and time again. The play calling. Oh my God, the Super Bowl makes me sick. That's why we haven't talked much 49er football. Because when you relive that game and the way that season ended, and it was coming. I mean,
he called the timeout. Just real quick for a second.
Let me finish this one because I'm going to forget my thought. I'm going to forget my thought. I'm going to forget this thought. Because the warning signs were there. The warning signs were there against Green Bay. The warning signs were there against Detroit. And it finally caught up to them in the damn Super Bowl. And that's why that anybody that disagrees with me talking about it's not Super Bowl to bust, enjoy the process. The hell with the process. I've gone through the process over and over. I got through the process in 2019. I got through the process in 2021. I gone through it in 2022 and I had to walk out of Philadelphia without a quarterback with a torn elbow and getting mobbed and getting things thrown at me. And then we went through the process last year. The hell with the process. I want a Super Bowl. The hell with the regular season. The hell with anything else. Go win a Super Bowl.
What was the game?
Damn.
Bills and Chiefs, how much time was on the clock when they moved down?
13 seconds.
Okay, all right. And then, so the end of the first half, second quarter, the Niners got the ball at like around the 30, give or take, correct? How much time was there? And they had 2 timeouts, correct?
I think it was, 21 seconds? How many seconds was it? I'll look up the game log right now.
Please look it up right now. It's a couple throws.
Well, no, but what got
me... It's a couple throws to get into the field goal range.
But my biggest point at that moment, I was saying to myself, there's a big halftime show.
That's what I'm saying.
And Kansas City receives the ball to open the second half. Your offense is going to get rusty. You need to be aggressive and try to get some points before halftime or keep your rhythm because you're not going to touch the ball for about 45 minutes in real time.
This is the guy who literally knocked out the Bills with 13 seconds, okay? And if you're going to go toe-to-toe with him and you're going to beat him, you have to be aggressive. That's just my philosophy. And I'm telling you, he ran a play and then let the clock bleed down, called a random timeout just to run another useless play.
It
made no sense, and no one peppered him on it.
So is Kyle Shanahan...
Because there's a million things you can pepper him on.
So Kyle Shanahan is great. I guess the question is going to linger all season long until it gets done. Is Shanahan a guy to take us to the mountain?
He does so many great things.
Can he get us over the top?
He does so many great things. And then, like I said, it's just like an unreal brain lapse where I don't get it. And then when you ask him about it, he's insulted, that you even question his football intelligence.
This is what happened in the halftime.
Okay.
Buckner kicks it off. It's 20 seconds left.
Yes.
They line up his shotgun. They run it for 6 yards. They don't call a timeout. They just go into halftime. And the last time they touched the ball before that, it was they scored a touchdown.
And they missed the extra, they made that.
They made that extra point. Yeah. They missed the next extra point, which was another sign. It's like, damn, even when you do score, you want to clap and say, hey, they missed the extra point, which allowed Kansas City to tie the game. I mean, come on, man.
That's just
so I guess the Steiny Guru going to relive the Super Bowl. Now I'm in a dark place again. Anthony Vereen at 13 minutes. Anthony Vereen, 13 minutes.
The part that's hard to come to grips with is that
these
opportunities are so few and far between. You know, for one core of players to get to 2 Super Bowls, it's really like you are in a unique category. A unique category. Think about it. Debo, Bosa, Shanahan, and Fred Warner. The linchpins, if you will. Eric Armstead. For that chunk, and Juszczyk, I guess, and Kittle throw in there, like, it's very difficult to get to 2 Super Bowls in a 5-year period. Very difficult.
Only 8 teams in NFL history have gone back to the Super Bowl after losing it in the year prior. 71 Cowboys, 72 Dolphins, 73 Vikings, 87 Broncos, the Bills, obviously, 91 through 93, and most recently, the New England Patriots in 2018.
I mean, how many of those teams have, like, all-time players at quarterback and at head coach?
Well, Brock Purdy could be.
You know the problem that bothered me the most? There's a number of things that bother me about the Super Bowl.
I don't know. Kick coverage?
No, but it just felt like...
The 4th and 2?
It just felt like Shanahan didn't learn anything from the Super Bowl 54 loss. He didn't learn anything from the 2021 NFC Championship loss to the LA Rams. We all forget. You got 3rd and 2. Trent Williams can't even walk.
It's the most predictable play call.
Can't even walk. He can't even walk.
And in that situation, what did we say? It's a go-for-it situation.
Well, no, he can't even walk. He motions. You get stuffed. And then you kick the ball off. And then the next play, Jacoby drops the interception. I'll never forget looking at Rocco. We just knew kind of like it was over right there.
Yeah, and then after that drop, it was a huge play and then a penalty, I believe, tacked onto it.
Odell Beckham Jr. for 30 yards. A Jimmy Ward call for a late hit, which tacked on to 15 yards. I'll never forget it. On the very next play, after Tart dropped an interception,
my dad started packing his bag,
and they left Jacoby Tart on the scoreboard with his hands over his head. And by golly, the guy's never played a football game ever again.
By golly.
And you know what? We had him on the show with Langford. You were out. We had him on the show.
Yeah, he was really dejected too. You could hear it in his voice where this guy, the mental state, it's tough, man. That's the play you're going to be remembered for, and you didn't make it.
Like for Niner fans, if fair or not, Kyle Williams, LaMichael James, right? Like Kaepernick, even to a degree, right? You know, and then you get a little closer, and you're like, Quan Alexander, make a play. Oh my God, Sherman, why are you bumping him?
Giambi, why don't you slide?
Giambi, why don't you slide? And it's just.
You say Russ Ortiz, just leave him in.
Russ Ortiz,
just leave
Harrison Barnes. I mean, there's so many. You just say their name.
Harrison Barnes 5 for 32 in the last 3 games of the NBA Finals, and I interviewed Harrison Barnes. They used to have the practices on during the finals. They have them on the court. So the day before Game 7, I wrote an article for the other station about Harrison Barnes. And he was loose. He was good. And he hit his first 3 of the game in Game 7.
The Dylan Brooks.
First 3. And then that was that.
the Dylan Brooks. Hit the first one, miss every one after it.
Loco Moco on YouTube. Sterling had a rough show after the Super Bowl. He was so frustrated. I had a rough night. A rough morning. I really didn't want to do the show the next day in Las Vegas.
Oh, it was the saddest show ever in a box that was cooking.
That trip became just a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a long nightmare.
Are they going to get it done this year, man? We're going to open up training camp, and we got to hear everything. Hey, we got over it. You never get over it. Oh, we're trying to get back to that point. We know what's on. Like the regular season is really for the 49ers this year. Yeah, they may beat the Chiefs at Levi Stadium. We're like, yeah, they beat Kansas City. But in the back of our minds, we know, well, the Chiefs will gladly lose this game. They've got 2 big ones over us.
How many teams, like the Red Sox, they at least had a couple of knocks on the door during that long stretch? A couple. The Niners have had 3 in 11 years, and they basically all their losses in the playoffs are horrific. And like the only one that's even a blowout, and it's because your quarterback lost his elbow. Is the Philly one? All the other ones are horrific losses.
Heartbreakers.
Horrific.
The Rams
rip your heart out.
They had a 17-7 lead in the NFC Championship game against the LA Rams. 17-7.
I lost. I'm out.
What did Troy Aikman say? I'm afraid he's going to have to come down to Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean,
they had a 10-point lead to the Kansas City Chiefs in the 2019 one. I mean, what are we talking about?
But you feel me on now the timeout before halftime.
Oh, no, 100%. You look at here's
Can
the
you explain to people how I react in real time in Super Bowl 54?
From here on out, for the rest of my football watching life, if you say you believe in your quarterback and you don't call a timeout, I don't care if there's 1 second on the clock in the end of the halftime. Like, if Mahomes, if the shoe was on the other foot and they had 20 seconds, you think Andy Reid's taking a knee?
No. No.
He's slinging it down the field. Is he not?
Absolutely. They're running no huddle.
Look, okay, they pick it off at the 40-yard line. So what? So what? So what? You got to be aggressive. You might get a penalty. You might break one. You got timeouts. Like, we know now, even if you're at the 20, that's 1 or 2 plays and you're in field goal range. Is it not? In the modern NFL?
It's going to have to be Jimmy Garoppolo that gets it done.
Well, when Jimmy's your quarterback, yeah, I mean, that's you need like 75 plays.
See, again, I go back to Shanahan. Shanahan, it was obvious he didn't have a lot of faith in Jimmy Garoppolo. Yet you dialed up 4 pass plays with a minute 49 and 3 timeouts at the Kansas City Chiefs 49-yard line. So even if he completes the Emmanuel Sanders touchdown pass, which we all want to complete it, there's still about a minute 30 left on the clock. Mahomes would have touched the ball again. Does anybody have any faith in the defense at that point to stop Patrick Mahomes?
No, not knowing what we know now. The
game was mismanaged.
Williams was running through your heart.
The game was mismanaged at the end of both halves.
Who was the guy?
It's
Sammy
unbelievable.
Watkins? Was it Sammy Watkins?
It's Richard Sherman.
Oh,
see, and now I'm going to sound like
Richard Sherman's pressing him. It's like it's Sammy Watkins.
He got cooked so bad. They did everything to him. Play action pass to Kelsey, run plays to Sherman. Sherman was burnt toast in the fourth quarter. Burnt toast. So I had a problem with him at the end of his tenure talking about, no, I'm going to be back because this guy, you want to talk about pocket watching. Richard Sherman was doing some big-time pocket watching his last year.
God, the NFL really just let the Chiefs off the hook last year. The entire NFL.
It's everyone.
Chris Jones. Travis Kelce was 35 years old, their best wide receiver. He's a tight end.
Detroit beat them week 1. There was no Kelce on the field. He was on the sidelines. And Chris Jones was sitting with the mob up in the stands. And you know where Chris Jones was in the fourth quarter of that game?
In the backfield.
Exactly.
Over and over and over again. So Super Bowl 54. Super Bowl 54. Chiefs, 3rd and 14 at their own 48. Mahomes short right pass to Damian Williams for 1 yard. Minute 53. And there's John Lynch in the suite.
Oh, my God.
There's me at the old studio. Timeout, 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 timeout. Nope, no timeout. And what did I do? Shasky, I went ballistic.
Yeah, you're ready to fight me.
I went ballistic.
I was like, it's okay. We're fine. We're holding him down. Limit the possessions. I was wrong.
I couldn't even enjoy Shakira at halftime because I was so down bad.
And J-Lo.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I was so distraught.
That was a good one.
I was so distraught. So then you look at the last possession. Oh, this is rich. This is so rich. 1st and 10 at the Kansas City 49-yard line with a minute 49 left and 3 timeouts. And Shanahan with the quarterback he does not trust.
And Raheem Mostert.
Raheem Mostert, who, by the way, didn't touch the ball in the first quarter, coming off a 200-yard game against Green Bay Packers.
Until the 12-minute mark in the second quarter.
Yeah, there you go. Didn't touch the ball in the first quarter.
I've only watched that Super Bowl 11 times.
Well, what happened last year when I was in Cabo? I started texting you guys. You guys started another thread. I was like, just leave Bonta alone. Let him cook.
The worst is when all the Niners defenders took the photo. Oh, my God. Look at you're laughing. I hate you. Why are you laughing at me?
A minute 49 left at the 49-yard line. And the all-whites. And they 3 timeouts. 3 timeouts. And a quarterback you don't trust, who you didn't trust in the first half because you didn't call a timeout. You went to halftime content with the 10-10 tie. You dialed up 4 straight pass plays, and we all forget about the 4th down play. You can't even get lined up right. It was a disaster, an absolute disaster. So you know who has the most pressure? So you know who has the most pressure on them going into the season? It's not Brock. It's not Debo. It's not Bosa. It's not Kittle. It's not Trent. It's not Ayuk. It's not Hufanga. It's Kyle freaking Shanahan who has the most pressure on him. We got to close the deal on one of these bad boys. It's Kyle Shanahan who has the most pressure on him. It's not even close.
We're back to 2020.
It's not even close.
It's Shanahan.
Shanahan mismanaged the Super Bowl in 54 and the Super Bowl last year, and he wants to throw his headset on and blame Steve Wilks. If it wasn't for Steve Wilks and the defense, we wouldn't have been in the damn game because the offense stunk in the Super Bowl. Oh, my God.
For being honest, the offense wasn't great in the first half against Detroit.
Or Green Bay. Debo and the receiver dot. Come on, Shanahan. Dial him up, Shanahan. Dial him up.
That was the part right there.
My God.
Debo's telling him, dial it up, bro.
Oh, my God. Shanahan.
Remember, that's
Do we have a Shanahan problem? Oh, my God. All right.